A few days later, Yoon was engrossed in tutoring the kids, her schedule tightly packed. After the dramatic events of the past week, things had gradually returned to normal. However, it was not as a seamless transition. A lot had happened, and yet nothing had changed at the same time. The looming exam added an extra layer of cost to their life. With just a week left, time management became increasingly challenging. Yoon felt the pressure building up, but at the same time, she yearned for the exam to be over so she could obtain her degree and bring a close to his chapter of the life. Her mobile buzzed with a message. A smile crept across her face as she saw boyfriend flashing on the screen. Opening the message, she read his words, "Hey beautiful, are you free?" Yoon felt a warmth in her heart. It had been a week since they confessed their feelings for each other, and he always called her with random names. Nope, tutoring. Oh, when will you be free? In 2 hours. Why? There's something. When you're free, I will pick you up. What? But we are going somewhere? Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Now stop asking questions and be ready. But where? I love you. Yoon couldn't help but giggle at his response. She placed her mobile on the table, her mind racing with curiosity about where he might want to take her. As the 2 hours passed, she decided to take her bag and headed to her mom to let her know she was going out for a while with Jungkook. So, are you still not going to tell me where are we going? She asked with her mouth full of the burger she was enjoying. Jungkook had taken her to KFC, and she was happily swearing the meal. Nope, it's a surprise. She pouted, wiping her mouth with a napkin. That's not fair. Jungkook chuckled, reaching out to wipe some ketchup from the corner of her lips, his thumb lingering for a moment, and then he playfully placed it in his mouth, licking it clean. Yoon blushed, feeling a rush of warmth spreading through her cheek. He leaned in closer, his voice soft and warm. Trust me, you are going to love it. Really? She asked and nodded his head. Now focus on driving before we both reach our forever destination. Jungkook chuckled, glancing at her briefly before returning his attention to the road. She leaned back in her seat. She stole glances at Jungkook, admiring the way his profile looked in a soft glow of the setting sun. Jungkook, let me see, Yoon pleaded as he was covering her eyes with his both hands and guiding her. God knows where. What if I trip? Jungkook shook his head. Don't worry, I won't let you fall. Can I peek a little? She asked, again trying to see through his parted fingers. Just being careful, you know. No, Yoon, don't you dare. As he stopped, he fumbled in his pockets, his eyebrow furrowed in confusion. Where is it? He mumbled to himself. What? She asked at the sudden change in his voice. I think I forgot the keys, he admitted, cursing himself under his breath. Are you finding your keys? The one with the small little doll on it? Jungkook's eyes widened in surprise and exclaimed, Yes, but wait, how do you know? Yoon smiled, her eyes still closed. Remember when you got into a fight a week ago? You accidentally dropped the keys there. So I picked them up and was going to give them to you later, but I forgot. Jungkook let out a groan, running a hand through his hair in frustration. Where are the keys now? He asked, his voice tinged with exasperation. They are in my purse. Where is your damn purse, woman? He asked, his impatience seeping into his words. In the car, she answered her question, growing as she wondered why he suddenly needed the keys. His face lit up with excitement and he almost jumped in anticipation. Just don't open your eyes, okay? I'll be back in a minute. With that, he dashed off towards the car, leaving her alone in front of the door. Her curiosity piqued at his sudden rush. She couldn't help but wonder what Jungkook was up to. As she stood there, she resisted the urge to peek, reminding herself to trust him and wait for his surprise. In a matter of seconds, Jungkook came back, his footsteps echoing against the pavement as he approached her. She heard the rustle of keys and then his warm breath on her hair again. Open your eyes, he whispered, his voice tinged with excitement. Yoon obeyed, her eyelids fluttering open slowly as she took in the scene before her. They were standing in front of a door. The door? Confusion clouded her features as she turned to him, her brows furrowed in confusion. Were we visiting someone? She asked. His lips curved into a smile as he took her hand in his, guiding her towards the door. Step inside, he said softly. Yoon stepped inside, her eyes scanning the place, still confused why they were here in the first place. Jungkook, why are we? It's ours, he spoke, cutting her off gently but firmly. Her breath caught in a thought as the realization washed over her. Her eyes widened in astonishment and she looked around, taking every detail of the cozy space. Hours, she whispered, her voice barely audible as he struggled to comprehend the enormity of what Jungkook was saying. Jungkook nodded, a small smile playing on his lips as he squeezed her hand reassuringly. Our house, he confirmed, his eyes shining with affection. There welled up in her eyes as she looked around, her heart overflowing with emotion. She couldn't believe it. They had a home, a place to call their own where they could build a future together. She threw her arm around him, pulling him in a tight embrace. Thank you. Jungkook held her close, his arms wrapped around her in a protective embrace, his heart swelling with love and pride as he felt her arms around him. I know maybe it's not up to your expectations, he began, his voice soft and hesitant. Like you must be dreaming of those big houses they show in movies, but it's just a beginning, a small step towards our future. And determined, one day we will have our own house, a big one with garden and maybe even a swing for our little one. She buried her face into his chest, clinging to him. Jungkook, she muttered, her voice muffled against his shirt. This is more than I could ever hope for. She pulled back slightly, meeting his gaze with a watery smile. He tightened his embrace, pressing a kiss on top of her forehead. I love you, Yun. She buried her face back in his chest and they stared like that for a moment, lost in comfort of each other's arms. Now let's go and take a tour of this place, shall we? Yeah, let's go. What do you think about this place? Should we place a crib here? He looked around the room, his brows furrowed in thought. I think it's a bit too close to the window. Maybe we could choose a place over there, he suggested, pointing a corner of the room. No, I think we should place it here, she insisted, pointing to a spot near the center of the room. It will be perfect for our little one. I don't think. Okay, fine. Stop glaring at me. We will place the crib there. Happy? Thank you, you're the best, she exclaimed. She turned away to continue exploring the room. Jungkook stared at her, shaking his head. She is so small, but her anger is higher than the mountains and deeper than the lava. To his surprise and sharp ear caught his words, and she wheeled around, narrowing her eyes and flailing her nose. What did you say? Come here. Why are you running away from me? What did you say? She said, now running behind him. Nothing, nothing, he yelled back. He laughed, his heart swelling with a love for the spirited girl who had stolen his heart. You will be bald soon if you keep pulling your hair like this. Yun teased, a smile dancing on her lips as she took a seat beside him. He sighed, running a hand through his hair as he glanced at the pile of textbook in front of him. Studying shouldn't be this difficult, he muttered, flipping through the pages of notes with a furrowed brow. I mean, look at this question. Well, it's difficult though. Do you need help? That would be awesome. But have you already done preparing for your exam? Yeah, I was just going to sleep now. Lucky you, he muttered, as he come back late after his work, so he hadn't enough time like her. What do you mean, lucky you? I have been busy tutoring the whole day, barely getting few hours to study for my own exam. Well, still better than me. he said mindlessly, and she narrowed her eyes. Now are we comparing who has more time? Do you forget that I'm also carrying this huge bump? I had to deal with back pain, fatigue, a million of other discomfort every day, and yet I still juggled tutoring, studying, and taking care of everything at home. His expression softened as he realized the impact of his careless words on her. He didn't mean to belittle her struggles, but his thoughtless remark had clearly hurt her. Without a second, he moved towards her, pulling her into his embrace. But before he could fully envelop her in his arms, he slapped his chest. "I'm sorry," he murmured softly, caressing her hair gently. "I didn't mean to upset you," he continued. "I know you're going through a lot too. I shouldn't have compared our situations like that. You're stronger than me. I love you for that." She sighed and leaned into his embrace, resting her head against his chest. "I know you didn't mean it, but it's not about who is the stronger. We both have different roles, but equally important. This is not a competition." He tightened his embrace, resting a kiss on top of her head. "I know." Despite their difference, they were like fire and water together. When one was angry, the other worked like water, soothing the flames of frustration and bringing calm to the storm. "Now help me with the questions," Jungkook said, breaking the tender moment as he glanced down at the textbook spread out before them. "Say please." Jungkook raised an eyebrow in disbelief. "Are we seriously doing this right now?" He nodded firmly, refusing to back down. "Please? What please?" In tears as milk dancing on her lips as she waited for his response. "Please, Yoon, help me with the questions." "Sure, I will," she said with a proud grin on her face, and he squeezed her. "You're impossible." "Ouch, Taehyung," she exclaimed, wincing slightly as she recognized her friend's embrace. Taehyung released her with a grin, his arm sliding around her shoulder as he fell into step beside her. "Sorry, couldn't resist. You look too cuddly. So, how was your exam?" "Honestly, it was brutal," she admitted, rubbing her temple. I feel like I barely made it through." Taehyung frowned, his arms tightening around her. "I'm sure you did better than you think," he said, and managed a small smile. He glanced down at her belly, which was now showing and not hidden under a coat. "So how many weeks do you have left?" "Oh, just a few more centuries to go." Taehyung grinned. "Of course," he said, dramatically nodding as if he understood completely. "Because you're carrying the next ruler of the universe, right?" "Oh, you understand me so well, Tae." She chuckled, feeling her mood lighten a little, and Taehyung ruffled her hair. "Do you know what you're going to name her?" he asked eagerly. "Have you picked out any name yet?" "Not yet. We never had a discussion about it." "If I was you, I would brought her close to till by now. You are too slow." "Hey guys." "Penguin, you are not saying much. Are you feeling okay?" "Oh, yeah," she replied, forcing a smile as she tried to shake off her worries. "I was just thinking about university. Yoon, have you thought about how you're going to manage university and the baby? Won't it be too difficult?" Taehyung slapped the back on his head. "Hey, don't make her feel worse," he scolded, shooting Jimin a pointed look. She already got enough on her plate. Jimin dropped the back of his head, sheepishly realizing his mistake. "Sorry, I didn't mean to add to your worries." "It's okay, I thought about it too. You don't need to worry about that now, hon. We have plenty of time," he said, squeezing her in her side hug, and Yoon nodded her head as the three of them take a round of the university. Calling out her name once more, he made his way towards the bathroom, his step quickening with worry. His heart sank when he saw her sitting in front of the toilet, her face pale and straight as she rests in the bowl. Without a moment of hesitation, he rushed to her side, kneeling down beside her, pulling her hair back from her face. Yun, are you okay? Yun nodded weakly. Her breath came in rage gasps as she struggled to catch her breath. I'm okay, she managed to choke hard between her knees, her hand reaching out to grip his tightly. A wave of nausea hit her again, and he rubbed circle on her back, carefully gathered her hair in his hands, ensuring that she had no difficulty as she leaned over the toilet. Why did you come inside? She asked harshly, her voice stung with embarrassment. She didn't want him to witness her vulnerable state. His expression softened as he continued to rub circles on her back. I wanted to be here with you, make sure you are okay. You don't have to hide or embarrass about anything. His comforting words eased her some of her embarrassment, and she nodded in acknowledgement. Do you need anything? Want me to make you something to eat or drink? Anything? She shook her head as she stared at him with a small smile. I just want you. Without hesitation, he settled down beside her on the bed, wrapping his arms around her. You have me. He kissed her forehead, always.
Jungkook rummaged through his closet, his brow furrowed in frustration as he searched for his one specific shirt. Where did I put it? He murmured to himself, pulling out various items of clothes in his quest. Just then Yun entered in her room, her process drawing his attention away from his fertile search. You didn't get ready? You forget we are going for shopping? She shrugged nonchalantly. I am a little lazy, she admitted. And you didn't get ready either, she added, pointing at him. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. Yeah, I was just looking for my shirt. He stopped mid-sentence as he noticed what Yun was wearing, the shirt he had been searching for the past 15 minutes. You are wearing my shirt? Oh yeah, I found it in your closet. Your shirt is more comfortable. His lips curved into a small smile at the sight of her, finding her even more adorable in his clothing. You look beautiful, babe. He complimented her warmly. Now take it off.
What? Her eyes widened in surprise as she stammered over her words. What? That's my shirt. I was going to wear it. What do you expect? That's not very gentlemanly of you. I thought you would say keep it instead. My whole closet is yours. She pouted and he crossed his arms, raising his eyebrow. Why would I say that? Then what should I wear? Your clothes? Well, you do look good in my clothes. She teased him and he looked at her impressed. She was clearly in the mood to annoy him. I will have you know that I look good in anything. So you are going to give me this shirt now? She asked innocently, her eyes twinkling with mischief as she tried to convince him to let her keep it. Jungkook narrowed his eyes. She knew damn well that he can't say no to her, and she used that method every time. Okay, but first come here. You can keep the shirt. Can I keep all of them? She took the opportunity to push her luck. Only if you let me. Kiss you every time like this, you steal one of my shirts. Deal, she said instantly, and as she was waiting for him to say something like this, and he chuckled, flicking her forehead. Jungkook and Yun walked together, hands intertwined. After their little shopping spree, they decided to walk. She was craving something refreshing to quench their thirst as she leaned on his shoulder. Are you feeling tired? He asked, looking down at her. She shook her head. Not at all. As they reached there, he pulled out a chair for her. She sat down comfortably and quickly made his way to the counter, ordering their drink and something light to eat. Within a moment, he returned to their table, placing the refreshing juice and snacks in front of her. As they sipped on their drinks, enjoying the refreshing taste of the cool beverages, Yun glanced at the snack Jungkook had ordered, noticing that he was not eating them. Why are you not eating this? You bought them. I don't want to. You know I'm gaining weight too. Yun brows shot up. Who told you you can wait? You look more like an air-sucked balloon. Excuse me, are you making fun of me? No, I'm not. You clearly are. I did gain weight though. I did all that dads gain weight when their wives are pregnant. He explained, trying to defend himself. You look at him shaking her head. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. But it's true, I was 62 kilograms at least 4 months ago and now I'm 57. He persisted and you raised an eyebrow. You don't know how to calculate? Jungkook chuckled nervously. Yeah, I'm little weak in maths. More like kindergartners know more calculation than you. Stop roasting me every time. He protested. You are duffer, she said, poking his cheek with her finger. Look, baby, mom is calling your father a duffer, he said, leaning down towards her bum, and she slapped her head. Stop embarrassing me, we are in public. She scolded, though a smile tugged at her lips. Jungkook leaned back on the chair, rubbing his forehead. You are such a meanie, you don't even let me talk to my baby, he grumbled. You can talk to her as much as you want when she's bored. But that's not fair, you get to talk every day. Why can't I? You can talk to her, but maybe not in public. As they started reading, Jungkook brought up the topic again. By the way, when will the baby pop out? In 7. Wait, what did you just say? Pop out, you know, like when the baby comes. He explained, scratching the back of his head and blinked. Now I'm starting to think you are actually dumb. What do you mean? It's not like a work as a gynecologist to know how babies are born. He defended himself. She laughed, shaking her head at his innocence. Like you basically don't know. He shrugged. Well, my mom told me I was delivered to them in a basket placed in front of their house. You know, I said, oh my god, Jungkook, you are adopted. She cast Jungkook stared at her with done face. No shit, Sherlock. I mean, they said God placed the basket from heaven to deliver it to them, and that's how I was born. He explained, defending his claim. Jungkook, you are 18 for heaven's sake. You should grow up mentally too by now. Then tell me how babies are born. Simple. Jungkook challenged, slightly offended. It's like, how should I tell you? Just search it up on Google. Wait, you said not to believe everything on Google, he pointed out. You can believe on Google just for this one. He nodded. When they start eating peacefully again and chuckle escaped your lips, he looked up at her, furrowing his brows. What's so funny? Funny how you know how to do all those stuff, but don't know how babies are born. Excuse me, they don't show in those videos how babies are born. He retorted. When I said, she understood what he was referring to. Oh god, just shut the hell up now. I don't want to hear that stuff. She exclaimed, covering her ears in mock horror. Excuse me, don't act innocent like you don't know how babies are made. We actually made one when I had my baby, and she instantly got him home, standing up abruptly. Okay, I'm going. You're gross. What the hell did I do now? He exclaimed, a chuckle escaping his lips as he saw her walking away with fast step. Ian, is this looking good on me, or do I look like a cartoon? His voice pulled her out of her thoughts as she forced a smile, trying to push aside the pain she was feeling. Oh, you look great, really handsome. But her voice wavered slightly, and Jungkook noticed the strain in her voice. Hey, are you okay? You sound a little off. She quickly brushed it off, not wanting to worry him. Yeah, I'm fine. But even as she spoke, another wave of pain gripped her, causing her to grimace. Jungkook walked over to her, sitting beside her on the bed. Are you sure? You don't look so good. Yun wanted to convince him to reassure him that everything was fine, and she didn't want him to worry much. So she shifted, moving to his lap. It's just normal contraction, I swear, you don't need to worry, she said, trying to hide her face in his neck, but Jungkook gently placed both hands on her face, making her face him. We should go to the doctor, she quickly denied it, shaking her head. No, it's perfect, I was just going to get ready for the party. But Jungkook could see through the packet. He knew she was in pain, but he was not about to let her brush it off. Please, let's go to see the doctor. I don't want to take any chance. Jungkook, I'm really okay, trust me. Let's not ruin the party over nothing. He hesitated but nodded, giving in. Okay, but after the party we are going to doctor. I won't hear no from you. Fine. But deep down she was grappling with her own fear. She was not ready for the pain of labor, and the thought of facing it sooner than expected filled her with dread. But she kept those fear buried deep inside, putting on a brave face for his sake. Yin felt the collective gazes on herself as they entered the party, her discomfort evident in the way she was shifting uneasily. She never quite enjoyed gathering like this, feeling synchronized gaze under the watchful eyes of others. But then she felt his arm wrap around her waist, pulling her closer while the other hand intertwined with hers. The simple gesture brought a smile to her face. She loved how he noted her discomfort without her having to say it. Throughout the party, Jungkook remained by her side, a constant presence that provided her with a sense of security amidst the bustling crowd. Oh my god, look who's shining at the party. She heard the loud voice and smiled as he engulfed her in the hug. Jimin pulled her cheek. Hey, could you please give us a little space? His tone was polite as he pulled her closer to him, his arms wrapping protectively around her waist. He didn't want to share warmth and affection with anyone else, not even his close friend. Excuse me, you're jealous when she's our friend. His pout deepened and he folded his arm across his chest. I'm not jealous, I just don't like Sherry. He whined, earning amused chuckle from everyone. You nudged him. Look at him being all possessive and protective. Lian blushed at their teasing, but she couldn't help but feel cute how she was pouting and whining. Jung closed the door of the bathroom, trying to dry his hands. He walked to the place where Lian left with her one of her classmates she was talking to. His pulse quickened when he couldn't spot her among the familiar faces. Spotting Taehyung nearby, he dashed over to him. Taehyung, where's Yun? He asked, his eyes widened with worry. She was just here a minute ago, he said, scanning the room, but now she's not. Jung stared at the crowd when he spoke again. Wait, I think I saw her heading there, he said, pointing towards the door. Without another word, Jung bolted towards the door, his heart pounding in his chest. He pushed his way through the crowd. The thought of Yun being outside alone, especially with her current condition, she was already not feeling well in the morning. His frantic pace slowed down as he stepped into the garden outside, his eyes scanning the area in search of her. He was about to call her, but he stopped when he finally spotted her sitting on one of the benches, a smile gracing her lips. His shoulder sagged in relief, a harsh sigh escaping his lips as he approached her slowly, not wanting to startle her. After the party, they made their way to their home. Yoon began to mind that she wanted to go to her mother's house. Jungkook's instinct was to take her to the hospital, especially after her earlier contractions. But he knew better than to argue when she was being stubborn. So despite his concern, Jungkook dropped them to her mother's house. When they arrived, Yoon's mother rushed out to greet them, her eyes widening in concern when she saw her state of her daughter. "Oh my dear, you look exhausted. Come here, let me hug you." She enveloped Yoon in a tight hug, holding her close as she wanted to shield her from any harm. Jungkook watched the exchange, feeling a mixture of gratitude and helplessness. He knew Yoon needed her mother comfort now more than anything, but he couldn't shake the feeling of unease gnawing at him. Her mother led her inside, casting a worried glance at Jungkook, who followed closely behind. Once inside, Yoon's mother sat her down, began to fussing over her, asking a barrage of questions about how she was feeling. "I'm okay, Mom," she brushed off her mother's concern, insisting that she was fine and that it was a false alarm. So Jungkook realized too, seeing her talking to her mom. He calmed down. If something was wrong, she must have told him. She must have already told him. "How are you, Jungkook?" Her father engaged her in conversation. Jungkook found himself gradually relaxing in the warmth of their family atmosphere. This is what family looks like. As they chatted, the sound of something falling in the kitchen startled them. Jungkook kicked in immediately and excused himself from the conversation, hurrying towards the kitchen to check on Yoon. Yoon, he called out, his voice tinged with concern as he entered the kitchen and found her standing there looking frightened. His eyes immediately landed on the puddle of water on the floor, and he felt the jolt of panic shot through him as he rushed to her side. "Baby, what happened?" "I don't know, what happened?" Her voice faltered. Her mother entered the kitchen and saw her daughter, her expression changing. "Yoon, my dear, your water just broke."